Welcome, Veritas family. Thank you so much for joining us here at Give and Take Past the Tassel, where we are chatting with the class of 2026. Today, I am joined by Daniel Schaffer. Hi, Daniel.
Hey there.
I'm glad to have you today. Thanks so much for taking the time to pop in. If you're watching live or in replay, be sure to tell us where you're watching from. We always like to see that. Daniel, let's dive in and tell us where you're located and what you do in your ministry.
So right now I am in Denham Springs, Louisiana. I'm serving at Open Door Baptist Church as an intern. That's the church that I grew up in, and my dad's the pastor here. So it's kind of a full circle moment for me coming back at the end of my college career and getting to spend some time learning under my dad, who I grew up under. It's just been a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
fun.
so I'm a intern, do a little bit of everything. Pretty much just anything that no one else wants to do. And then
Right.
I also get to teach part-time at our school, just two classes.
Well, having grown up in that ministry, I'm sure you know all the ins and outs, and you don't have to be trained on all the little tiny things. You just kind of know what's going on. And I know interns for sure they just get all the jobs, all the odds and ends that folks don't want to do. You're
Yes.
exactly right. Yeah, it's good. Dave Anderson watching from Twin Cities. Hey, Dave, thanks for watching. Thanks for popping in here today.
Hey there,
Um,
Dave.
we are asking our class of 2026, what made you jump into a degree at Veritas? How did you hear about Veritas?
So I heard about it from my brother, and he actually graduated about 3 years ago with his bachelor's.
Okay.
Um, but he had started classes, and he told me, "Man, I wish I would have started with dual enrollment classes back when I was in high school, your age." And I was
Mm.
like, "Man, that sounds like a really cool thing." And so I started with dual enrollment classes when I was a junior in high school
Okay.
and got almost my whole first year done before I ever graduated.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that really is helpful jumping into your freshman year at college, huh?
It was a huge blessing for
Yeah,
sure.
good. So you heard from your brother. Sounds like he had
Mhm.
really good peer pressure. This is an instance where peer pressure is a good thing. If he said, "Man, I
Yes, it
wish I'd have
is.
done that," and you took his advice, that sounds like a great option to jump in. And for those of you who are watching and you have anybody who is of a high school age, our dual enrollment program is an excellent way to get a jump start on college. It's affordable. It's flexible, it's online. It can obviously it dovetails with what you're doing in your high school situation. So reach out to us if that sounds interesting to you. Obviously, Daniel had a great experience as he continued on in our bachelor's
Mhm.
program. So, Daniel, tell us who was your biggest supporter during your time in your undergrad?
That would for sure be my parents.
Okay.
Just the whole time, which I know that's such a cliche answer, like, but um, but really they have supported me through it all. And they've sometimes been the ones telling me to slow down, take a break.
Sure.
Sometimes they've been the ones telling me that I need to just keep going, suck it up, you're gonna get through it, you know.
Good.
But
Yeah.
um, but really they've been a huge support, helping me wherever they can. My dad's, shared his notes from his old classes. He didn't go to Veritas, but back when he was in seminary and things,
Sure.
and so he's shared as much as he can. Yeah, they've really, my parents for sure have been the biggest supporters.
That is good. And it's good to hear for those of you who are parents, and it's good for those of you who are students because the parents on the parent side, especially since in an online environment you've stayed home, they see all the inner workings, right? Like they see
Hmm.
all the cramming up to midterms and the man, I got to pump this research paper out kind of thing, and all the stress that comes with that, where they wouldn't normally be in the day-to-day grind if you had gone away to school, but they get to be a really good support system for you as you're staying home. And as a parent, I know what that's like. I have a sixth grader, and so I understand when it's like, look, you got to slow down, or look, you've got to finish this, and you can do it. And I promise you, we'll be here to help, but you got to do it, So that's fun.
Hmm.
I'm glad that you mentioned them. Um, tell us how Veritas has helped you in your ministry.
Okay, so this I think might be my favorite question.
Okay.
Um, it, I would say two ways. And the first one I'll say kind of quickly. I think all right, in my opinion, there's two things that make Veritas great. It's the excellence and then the flexibility. Right.
Ooh,
So the
good.
excellence is academically, it's just a fantastic, like I have learned so much, which is the
Mm,
point of college.
sure.
Um, and I think there's nothing that can substitute that. And that for sure has helped me in my preaching, in my teaching,
It's
in
good.
even just my day-to-day life, informing how I live. But
Mm,
then I would say the second thing that's more unique to Veritas is the flexibility.
yeah, good.
Because Veritas is so flexible, I've been able to go and do, I think I'm on my fourth internship now. So I went up to New York City, went to Uganda, went to Medford, Oregon. Now I'm back home in Louisiana. And that was only possible because I was doing this online format where it was super flexible, um, and still getting the excellence of a good, solid college education while I'm doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to hear that because those of you who are like you're describing internships, but those of you who go
Mhm.
on a good bit of missions trips and you have, or maybe
Yes.
you have business that takes you elsewhere, don't count us out. I mean, an online environment that you can trust. You got to do four, you're like in your fourth
Mhm.
internship, all the while still taking classes. That's a really great point that you bring up. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's for sure been helpful. Just knowing that wherever God leads me to, I'm going to be able to take college there with me.
Yeah.
And I don't have to sacrifice one or the other. I can get them both in.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Those are really great qualities that we didn't, we do ask you how it's impacted your ministry, but those two things you mentioned were excellent. So I appreciate you bringing those up. Danny Daybalt watching from Hopewell. Hi, Danny. Thanks for popping in.
Hey, Danny.
Steve Nat Harness from New York watching. Thanks for
Hey,
popping in.
Steve.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I love the idea of flexibility. Boy, it is so helpful,
Mhm.
especially in today's society when everything moves so quickly. And being able to take college with you and not delay your calling, because you were called to these internships and then partnering with these churches, but also being called to classes and to further your
Mhm.
ministry and reach your goals. You didn't have to sacrifice one to the other. So it's a super great point that you bring up. We love to hear how that's been helpful for you. Tell us what teachers inspired you along the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna sound cliche at first and say all of them. Um,
Good.
but
We
I
like
would
all the
say
cliche. We'll do cliche. That's
let's
good.
just keep going with the cliche.
That's right.
But there are a couple that have stood out. I think the first professor that I was introduced to was Dr. Penny Edmonds.
Okay.
I took her literature classes, and I think, I don't know, she just raised the bar of excellence in a way that I hadn't been challenged before,
Yeah.
and really made me think and process in like I had to understand it. If you wanted to get through a class, you had to
Yeah.
understand what you were
That's
talking
right.
about.
There's no fluff. You got to do the
There
work
is
of
not.
learning. That's right.
Yes, but it was always something that was attainable and always something that I could actually get to.
It's good.
Um, and so that was super great introduction for me. But then also, I would say it's for professors, but whenever we took the preaching class, it was, I think, Dr. Skelly, Dr. Sams, Dr. Kenny Baldwin, and then Pastor Carrie Schmidt. All
Mm-hmm.
four of them do the different lectures for it. And you know the scene on Monsters University when they're standing by the factory looking through the glass and all these legends are walking in?
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of how that class felt. Like you're watching these men who are just fantastic preachers,
There,
excellent pastors and leaders. And here I am as this 19-year-old, like, wow,
right.
I want to be like that one day. I want to learn how to be like them.
Yeah.
So there's my, for your answer, or for your question of which one teacher, there's my five.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good. And what I love about that is that, Veritas brings proven leaders to you. And this is
Hmm.
the way that we can do that, right? Like, those guys you just mentioned, they have busy travel schedules and they're all over the place. Being able to take them to your church all the time is unlikely, right? But having them in a class that you can learn from and know that they are still in the ministry, they're still practically applying the things that they're teaching. They're relevant. They're in the trenches. And you, like you said, it's just a 19-year-old kid gets to watch them and to be a part of something that they love. You know, obviously they love to teach and give back to the generations coming behind them. And so we
Hmm.
get to be we get to be kind of the middleman for that, and you get to be the beneficiary, which is a lot of fun to see. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's so fun. Yeah, Dr. Edmonds, she will challenge you, but she will certainly make you a better student, a better learner, and you will come out a much better student for it. So she
Yes.
definitely will inspire you there. So tell us what tip or advice that you would give to those who are watching who are maybe still in the trenches, you know, still plugging away at classes, maybe still have several years left. What are you saying to somebody to be an encouragement to them?
I would say just learn to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Uh, Now that I'm here, almost done looking back at my college experience, I'm thinking, man, like, why didn't I just relax and enjoy what I was doing? Like,
sure.
never again in life am I going to get to devote myself full time to studying the things that I love.
Yeah,
Like, this is my one chance to do that. So I wish that I would have maybe complained a little less, maybe
sure.
grumbled a little less,
Yeah.
and just enjoyed like even the discussion boards. Looking back, I'm like, man, why didn't I pay more attention to those things?
You know, that's really interesting that you say that because every freshman or every student is watching you thinking like, oh my goodness, discussion
The
boards. So
discussion
they know, yeah,
boards.
exactly. They totally understand where you're coming from. But now at the end of your journey, you're able to look back to say, oh man, when am I like it is exactly right. When in your life are you going to be able to just devote full-time energy to studying what you love?
Hmm.
Because things will start to pick up in your life as soon as you just graduate and get it plugged into a position. It'll get really tough. That's a really great point.
Yeah. I'm grateful for the time that I've had. And if you're still there in the trenches, for sure, like look up, quit staring at your feet, you know. There's a
Good.
whole road ahead of you and it's gonna be fun, but if you're just complaining the whole time, you're not gonna enjoy it very much.
Yeah, I love that you said at the beginning of that that to learn to love the journey because it has to be an intentional switch, right? It has to be intentional
Hmm.
because our nature, our human nature, sinful nature will automatically plug us into the most low, you know, we're just hating it, grumbling, complaining, we hate this assignment, we hate this class, you know, these kinds of things and to intentionally switch your mind about something to say, hey, you know, this may not be my favorite class or favorite assignment, but there's certainly something I can learn from it. That's good
Hmm.
advice. That's really good advice for classes. It's good advice for life, you know, because we're all going to be encountering things that we don't love all the time, but to be able to take those thoughts captive and intentionally be grateful for what we have is such a really great biblical truth that you're sharing with us today.
Yeah.
Last question before we hop off.
Right.
Tell me what you might be saying. Let's say that there's a prospective student, somebody who's not a student at Veritas, who might be, you know, maybe the Lord is tugging at their heart to jump into classes. What are you saying to a prospective student?
I would tell them what principle has helped me to make decisions. The Bible says in Matthew that we need to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all these things shall be added unto us.
That's good.
God's part is to add this stuff to us, to provide for us and take care of us.
Mhm.
Our part is to seek his kingdom. So if you feel like you are called to some sort of vocational ministry, or if you feel like there's some sort of ministry that you need further preparation for, I would say there's no better step in seeking the kingdom that way than taking some classes. And I would tell you that there's no better place to take classes than Veritas. Um,
Oh, there you go, Daniel. What a great sign back. We didn't tell him to say that. What a great, yeah, I love to hear that from you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that was
no,
great.
no,
That was a great line.
uh, I would tell them too, preparation is biblical. Like,
Mm,
look at Paul, look at Timothy, look at the 12 disciples. And if that's not enough, look at Jesus. I mean,
mm,
he prepared for 30 years before his 3 years of
sure.
ministry.
Yeah, good point.
Um, so I would tell them, like, you should take some effort to get prepared for whatever God is calling you to.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. This idea of seeking the kingdom of God first. And this might be part of that path. You know,
Hmm.
maybe taking classes at Veritas might be part of seeking the path that God might have for you. Daniel, thank you so much for popping in here today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
This was,
inviting me.
yeah,
It's been
what
a
a
fun
great,
conversation.
for sure. It sure has. And it's always great to highlight. We cannot wait to celebrate the class of 2026 at graduation in May. And we'll be seeing you here in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area, May the 8th. If you are watching and you can make it out to that ceremony, please come and help us celebrate this class who has done just so much work to get where they are and reach their goals. Thank you to the community who are watching. If you have any questions, we would be thrilled and honored to answer any questions. If you are watching and you are feeling a little tug to maybe take classes, maybe the Lord has this in your future, but you're not really sure, reach out to us. We would love to answer those questions and help hold your hand through that application process. So again, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.